Contestant number 2. Punkit Gungwal, bucket by bucket. Bucket by bucket, Punkit Gungwal.
It was 3 a.m. I was 8 years old. The phone rang. Before my feet hit the floor, Dad was already out the door. My father is not a doctor or police officer or Batman. He is just an ordinary Joe who helps anyone, anytime on just a phone call. If people have big problems, they call him. If they have small problems, they call him. And if they have no problems, they make one up and call him. His phone rang so often that 8-year-old me thought he owned a 1-800 number. After receiving his help, people would disappear and contact him only when they needed him again. I felt that my father's acts of kindness were wasted on ungrateful people. Contest Master, ladies and gentlemen, like my father, have you ever wasted your acts of kindness on someone ungrateful? Dad runs a small auto insurance business in India, but his passion is astrology. If you meet my dad, he would not ask, "How are you?" He would ask, "What's your date, place, and time of birth?" Then he will create your astrological chart and tell you how you are. Dad has a policy of reading the astrological charts for free because he did not want to add to the burden of people already facing difficulties. But free doesn't mean that he's not good at it. In fact, Dad is so popular for his predictions that even renowned astrologers come to him to learn about their futures. Dad had limited time schedule to read the astrological charts. But people followed him everywhere, at home, at the office, in public restrooms. Out of his kindness, Dad had always obliged them. This consumed a lot of time from his office, his wife, and his only child, me. But people just cared about getting their charts read for free. I felt that my father's acts of kindness were wasted on ungrateful people. Mom unconditionally supported Dad. I, on the other hand, started holding grudges against those ungrateful people. Once, I asked my father, "Dad, you read charts for everyone, but when will you tell me something about my future?" "Pulkit, your wedding will be majestic." "Wow, Dad, is that what you see in my chart?" "Not in your charts, in my dreams." "I don't need to read your chart for that, because I will make sure that your wedding is majestic." And he sure did. Dad planned and paid for every detail of my wedding arrangements and invited many guests, including those ungrateful people. On the morning of the wedding, Dad and I went to take a look at the large open ground where the wedding was going to be held. The ground was filled with colorful decorations, fragrant flowers, and the music of the orchestra practicing for the evening. It indeed was majestic. At noon, as we were fantasizing about the glorious evening, it began to drizzle. In few minutes, the drizzle turned into a pouring rain, like a monsoon. Drop by drop, the rain started washing away my father's dream. 3 hours later, when the downpour ended, Dad walked into the ankle-deep water on the flooded ground. This wedding cannot happen now. My dream will just be a dream. With all his hopes shattered, Dad broke the news of canceling the wedding. Momentarily, I heard some noises and splashes. I saw a platoon of people against whom I held grudges appear out of nowhere. They had buckets in their hands. They lined up on the flooded ground and started throwing water out of the ground, bucket by bucket. They slipped, got drenched, spoiled their expensive dresses and suits, but continued, bucket by bucket. My father's kindness was being paid back, bucket by bucket. The floodwater and my grudges receded, bucket by bucket. My wedding was saved simply because it was the wedding of Mr. Gangwal's son. My father was so happy that his eyes started drizzling. On my rainy day, I recognized the gratefulness of seemingly ungrateful people. I realized that my father's acts of kindness were not wasted. Oftentimes we feel that our kindness is wasted on someone ungrateful. But the truth is, people are grateful. It may not become evident until our rainy day. An act of kindness goes a long way and returns. I encourage you to confidently use your bucket of kindness on someone seemingly ungrateful. Because, ladies and gentlemen, your acts of kindness are not wasted. They all come back to you or your loved ones, bucket by bucket. Madam Contest Master.